Well, good morning. This is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred. I'm really glad you could join me today. Today I wanted to share with you some tips and ideas on how to grow spinach seeds indoors. And this type here is Bloomsdale long-standing spinach. So I'm really glad you could join me today. So when you start sowing seeds indoors, obviously you want to try to have all your supplies on hand. What I did is I just bought myself a poly tarp. This is the cut size is 4 foot by 6 foot. And so, I put this poly tarp under my seedlings and trays and so on, helps for easy cleanup and so on. And so it was only like $3.50. So that's something I would encourage you to buy to protect your table. And again, it just makes for easy cleanup. And so I have here a seed tray that holds 30 seeds. It's 3 across and 10 long. And so 30 seeds will be plenty of spinach for me to plant or start indoors, because I'm also going to be direct seeding some seeds outside in a couple weeks. And so right now it's early spring here in Pennsylvania, zone 6. And so these seed packs gives you some pretty good information on the back. They're pretty good guidelines for you. For instance, they tell you a planting depth of 1/2 inch, thin to 4 to 6 inches, requires full sun. And maturity is 48 days. And you can, you direct sow a spring crop when soil warms up, and then also in the fall, you can do a fall planting. Also, you can start indoors 3 to 4 weeks before your last frost for a spring crop. Now, you could even plant earlier than that if you plant out under some row covers, or if you have a greenhouse, and so on. And so it's really easy to do. I try to make things simplified as much as possible here with Plant Smart Living. There's a lot of confusion out there with gardening, and it really puts a lot of fear and intimidation in people. And so, but it's really quite simple to do these seeds indoors. And so I have my seed tray here. This also comes with a dome on it that, once you plant your seeds in water, it keeps the moisture in real good in your soil. Or you could also use cling wrap, and lay it over the top to help retain the moisture inside. Now, one thing that I do for watering is I like to bottom water. And so one trick here or tip is I have my KitchenAid scissors. I love these KitchenAid. They're nice and heavy duty. But I cut out one corner of a tray here. And that way then I can bottom water through the one opening. You sacrifice one opening here, but it still gives me 29 plants here. And then that way, cutting it out, it allows the water to fill much quicker. And then what I'm going to do is, I like using this Gorilla duct tape. I love this stuff. I would highly recommend for you to use it around the house. It's really tacky, and it's even UV resistance, but it's a good strong tape. Costs a couple dollars more than most tapes, but it's really well worth it. But so what you can do is just take a small piece of that and cover the opening here. So when you put your growing medium in, to keep that out of the opening there. And then once it's filled, of course, you can just pull it right out. And so you want to make sure you have a good seed starting mixture. I use this Pro Mix organic seed starting mix. And so it's really a good medium for growing your seeds in. It creates a nice, even, soft bed for your seeds. And then also get yourself a Tupperware container or some kind of bucket, and fill that up halfway, and I go through with my hands and make sure all the clumps are broken up. And then simply what you're going to do is make sure all my trays are together. And I end up reusing my seed trays year after year. I save them. And I don't even clean them or anything. I just reuse them the way they were from last year. I've had no problems with fungus or disease. Again, it just keeps gardening a lot more simplified. And so simply just take some big handfuls and fill the tray up. You can be generous with it. You want it to, because it's going to settle a little bit once you shake it down. And then just give it a good shake so it helps settle it. You may even have to add a little bit more. But again, basically all you're doing is buying seed trays, or if you have styrofoam cups or any other type of container, you just want to make sure there's good drainage. So then get yourself a stick of any kind. You could even use the box, to improvise. Anything that would screed across the top. So that's creating a nice level bed. Clean the edges nice. And then simply, I'm just going to take my 2 fingers, and they tell you to plant these about a 1/2 inch deep. And so just get your fingers, push them in there. And I use my 1 finger to go down the rest of the holes. And then just try to carefully open these packs as you open them, so that way you can reseal them. And what's nice is these seeds are nice and big too. They're easy to handle. Just pour a bunch in your hand. Now these seeds were from last year, so I'm going to, the older they get, the less chance they may have to germinate. But most of them should be pretty good. But I'm going to put even 1 or 2 in some of these holes because I got plenty of seeds. So you just simply dump them right in there. And what I like about the spinach, again, it's just so healthy for you. We follow a plant-based lifestyle here. My wife and I, we've experienced amazing results in our health. All my ailments have gone away, and my energy's been restored. I've lost 65 pounds. It's just been amazing. So anyhow, just take your seed growing medium and fill it back in again. Just dump a bunch on top. Fill those holes up. Pat it down a little bit. And then just take your stick and screed it across. Clean the edges up. Clean real good around that piece of duct tape. And then I'm going to just lift this piece of duct tape right off, and you have a nice large opening. Then you can get your watering can and then just put about 1 inch of water in there. See, with that bottom cut out, that whole corner, it just really fills up real nice and easy for you. I would probably start with about 1 inch of water in there, and keep an eye on the growing medium. You can see as it sucks up the moisture, the water. Also, once you put your dome on top, or your cling wrap, you'll want to see little beads of moisture in there. That'll tell you that you have enough moisture. And you want to make sure you keep your seeds wet or moist. You don't want them soggy wet, but moist. It's going to take 5 to 10 days for these to come up. And once they pop their heads up above the soil, I'm going to put these under my grow light for about probably a month until they develop their first set of true leaves, and then bring them outside. I'll harden them off outside for a week, and then put them in the garden. I plant a lot of most of my greens under row covers, and carrots and my Swiss chard. I grow a lot of that under my row covers. It keeps all the pests and bugs off them. And so, but definitely make sure you keep them moist. And you know, it's always fun growing these plants by seed. You get to plant them and then watch them grow, and of course you need to nurture and care for them as a mother would its newborn baby. And so and then once they develop their true leaves, you want to give them some type of liquid fertilizer. And so that's basically all it takes, is to grow your own seeds indoors. It's a really simple task. I would encourage you to think about trying it. It's a lot of fun to do this and watch them grow. So, you know, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. So I just want to thank you for joining me today. Till next time, this is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred.